Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle Lord. I'm the founder and principal of Archetype Learning Solutions, and we use research and evidence-based practice to create ecosystems that support healthy, happier, healthy employees, cultures, and systems. And I might have said one of those twice, but that's okay because happy is important. And I think it is a really important part of today's topic and conversation around employee engagement. So if you've watched any of the channels or any of the videos before, you know that we have 12 heart-centered strategies. And our whole philosophy and approach is that employee engagement should be very simple. It's about daily quality interactions that engage everyone every day. So our strategies are simple. They are from the heart. They cost zero. And in fact, if you purchase our toolkit, okay, well, the toolkit costs a little bit of money, but every tool that's in there, be it a script, a template, a format, any tool that's in there is yours permanently, and you can do whatever you want with it, and every single one of those are free. You can brand it, you can put your own brand on it, call it your own, but it really is all about daily interactions that are quality interactions. So I don't really have a script. Well, I usually don't have a script, but and just some rambling thoughts that have come to front and center of my head as I am still kind of processing and going through the 2026 Gallup State of the Global Workforce Report that came out last week, and all around engagement, of course, as I reported on a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, some of the lowest scores ever recorded, and the scores amongst managers are continuing to decline as well. And this is the second year in a row that manager scores have declined. So wanted to dig into that a little bit as well, and also just talk about some common misnomers around employee engagement. So here we go, some ramblings, and hopefully I'll be able to tie this together at the end. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. So I was kind of thinking about this morning, and I think it was Jeff Bezos who said humans aren't assets and we shouldn't call them human assets, and how insulting it is that we would refer to humans as human assets. And well, first of all, my first thing that comes to mind is I really don't think Jeff Bezos gives an F about any of the lived experiences of any employee. So why are we getting employee engagement advice from Jeff Bezos? I don't know. But I'm going to twist that a little bit and say, maybe if we do start thinking about our humans as assets, we might take better care of them. So what's associated with an asset? There's a hard dollar cost with an asset, right? Generally, if it's expensive enough, we can capitalize on that asset. Second is that my husband, who works with equipment in high-speed manufacturing, made a really profound statement to me a couple of years ago. And he said, it's pretty bad when the equipment is taken better care of than the employees, the people, the humans in your organization. So maybe if we started thinking about humans as assets, they would receive the same level and degree of care that the equipment does. I mean, if you think about what equipment goes through, they have daily checks on some pieces of equipment. They have monthly and weekly checks on some pieces of equipment. Every 6 months to a year, the equipment is getting a major overhaul where it's taken apart. I shouldn't say torn apart because we don't want to associate torn apart with humans, but the equipment is kind of taken apart piece by piece, and everything is cleaned and checked, and replacements are made. And the equipment gets a little bit of love and attention from the full team. Maybe that's what our human assets are lacking, is a little bit of that attention, daily, weekly, monthly. When you think about the equipment getting a weekly check-in, that's really the same thing as a weekly or bi-monthly one-to-one with your employee and your manager. That's part of that employee-manager relationship. And to hear repeatedly that managers are canceling their one-to-ones, they don't show up to one-to-ones, they work through one-to-ones with their employees, really what you're saying is, you don't matter. And you don't matter. I can't take the time to spend 30 minutes with you to provide you with accolades, provide you with feedback that you need, be it good feedback for celebrating wins or making corrective actions, and helping you reprioritize tasks, setting expectations. making human connections with you, that's a huge, huge missing piece within our organizations. And I think that just having that simple 30-minute check-in weekly or bi-monthly would go a long way in helping to help with human connections that are really lacking within our organizations. I'm helping to make sure that your human assets are being as well cared for or better cared for than the equipment. And maybe even helping the managers get some clarity on their role, and helping with some of the uncertainty that the managers are expressing that they're feeling. So from the Gallup report, this is that a lot of organizations, and we've certainly seen this over the years as well, so a lot of the organizations, the managers are struggling because their span of control is too big. And I completely agree. I think that flattening the organization, which has been a mantra for a long time, has hurt us in many ways. But the managers, remember, your job is to be connecting with your team members. It's not to be doing their work. So if you use that time to be connecting, not doing the work of an individual contributor, creating some of that space for some celebration, it gets the endorphins going, it creates a sense of well-being and happiness and connection, I think would go a long, long way in making a difference in engagement for both managers and employees, team members. There was something else I was going to mention around that. Of course, it's gone for now. But I also want to mention, when we're talking about managers and their declining engagement scores, is that 40% of managers in our organizations are reporting that they are lonely. So again, making those really meaningful connections can be really, really powerful to help with that engagement amongst managers. And sorry to say that either through fear or ego, and maybe it's both, if we think about the yin and yang and that duality that constantly exists, maybe it's that tension of both fear and ego that's driving some of this loneliness that maybe some of you have created yourself through, it's my employee, they should say hi to me first. I don't have to say hi to them. I don't have to be in a relationship with them because they're just here to do the work and I'm here to schedule and do the work. Yeah, those are management tasks. Those are important, but that's not leading. That's just purely managing. So maybe if you would reduce some of that ego tension in your duality bubble of ego and fear and open up a little bit, which is a little bit of the fear, right? That's very fearful to open up, especially when we've been told as managers and leaders, oh, you shouldn't be vulnerable. But maybe we'd reduce some of that sense of loneliness through improved connections and improved workplace relationships, healthy workplace relationships, of course. So that was some of the things I was thinking about. I am also working on a new curricula, Ties, Not Tasks. I have to get the title correct. And that's really about using or better understanding how to use AI so we can let AI do the tasks so that we can focus on the ties in the human connection and those relationships. So watch for that. If AI is a part of what's driving the decrease or the decline in your employee engagement scores, I'll have that course available pretty soon. So all the courses on AI are about how to put in the right question or ask the right question and put the right parameters in so you get the correct answer. Nobody's talking about how do we use AI to do the tasky stuff so that we can connect with one another and do the deep thinking and the connections. So that's a little bit about that particular course, because AI was certainly mentioned as something that is an increasing burden, mental, emotional burden that they think is driving down the engagement scores. Okay, there was still something else that came to mind as I was getting ready this morning, but now it's gone, it's lost. Hopefully it'll come back. So at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so that's it for now. I guess just a little bit of rambling thoughts that I had that I wanted to share. Remember, engagement is all about the human connection, and the studies, the research, it's all proven this time after time after time. We make a huge effort in organizations at the enterprise level to make the engagement survey a big deal. We make strategies around it. We have planning sessions only by about the first quarter for all of that to have fallen off the wayside. So if we make these micro practices of these quality daily interactions that are heart-centered, I think we would have much better success in promoting happiness, reducing some of the loneliness that's within our organizations, and really seeing a dramatic difference in how we could improve engagement overall. All right, that's it for now. Hopefully my other thought will come back and I can do another video update. Thanks so much for watching. Again, if this content resonates with you, I'd really appreciate it if you could click on the like button or share with others who might be struggling with what do I do with these declining engagement rates. And of course, our toolkit is available at our website. And as soon as I have our new curricula up, I'll make that available as well.